Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I think I've let a farmyard in here. I trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have got with us Jenny.
Hi.
We have Chad.
Hello.
We've got B.
Hello, love.
We've got Jeff.
Ahoy, hoy.
And we've got Sarah.
Hello.
How are you all doing this lovely morning?
I'm awake.
Working on it.
It's
I'm
afternoon.
almost there,
And
oh, sorry, Jeff.
Afternoon for me, but
Looking forward to devirginating the newbie.
There's a newbie? Sweet.
not
I
for a
was
game.
just, I was just wondering how tough is it to have your name right now?
What, Chad?
Pretty bad, but you just gotta roll with it.
it's
What, like a
pretty
hanging
much
Chad, or
no, it's suggesting that he might suffer some symptoms of a condition called
Was that
paranoia.
correct?
Paranoia. That's a good one. I like it.
Have you ever asked to speak to someone's
Place
manager?
to say I get a lot of shit, yeah. And what?
What, Dave?
I said, has he ever asked to speak to someone's manager?
Never.
Never.
I associate the name Chad more with the guys that people who are oh my god, incels.
Incels,
Chad.
they use that. That's an incel term as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they
Yep.
call the guys that they don't like Chads.
Do they?
No, they don't
that-
decide
that means that almost-
all educated,
That-
all that
that
good
kinda-
stuff. They don't like that.
That kind of balances it out then, that you're hated for being Chad, but then you're
Yeah.
hated for being Chad.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I get no love on either side.
The internet just doesn't like.
You
does
should
not
just
like
shorten
your
your name. You
Charge.
should just shorten your name like I did. Just go with Ch.
Well, I did shorten my name, actually. It's supposed to be Chadwick, but that looks like
Chadwick?
something.
Oh,
Chadwick
there used to be
sounds more
a golf
pretentious.
cart in 50s.
Chadwick is way more
titled-
pretentious. But
You used to say you have to wear a sweater. You have to wear a sweater over your shoulders and crossed if you're going to be Chadwick.
Yes.
With elbow
Oh,
patches.
extreme.
Yes, do that.
Lean into it.
He's like, I got one. We got this. We're gonna do it.
So what?
Okay, Chadwick.
Well, he
Alright.
does have the bun.
There you go.
What do we call what do we
And now
call male?
debut.
Oh, yeah.
And then you gotta
Dave,
wear
I
your,
don't
you gotta
think
wear your
Chadwick-
sunglasses like this on top of your head like that.
You gotta do that
Wait.
one again?
He looks like the guy
Yeah.
from the soap commercial now.
Oh.
He does.
What's the guy? What's that? Sasquatch or something?
Listen!
Soap?
He is never going to come back if you keep making him dance.
What do we,
He's
My first
lovely.
thing, and I
what
get
do we
that
call
one.
it?
Of
So-
course we
so-
want him back.
So outside of North America, what do we call a male Karen? I'm
No
thinking.
idea.
I'm thinking of Dave.
No. Can't use Dave.
Dave's not here.
How about
man.
Rodney?
Dave has already been
Yeah.
taken.
Works.
Right. Should we do some questions?
Right.
I mean, if you insist.
Oh. All right. We were having a
We
good
have to.
conversation, though.
We were. Oh, you could
Oh
say
my
not a
God,
great
yeah.
gamer said that Godless Scummer is the Alan Davis of the series. And that's a compliment, apparently.
It says compliment.
Yes.
Well, actually, yeah, I've been on more than anyone else, and yet I've accrued the least points. So it's probably about fucking right.
We currently have the person in the lead in points,
Is that Jenny or Sarah?
Sarah.
Is-
Sarah.
It's Sarah, and she's the
Yeah.
only one that has any points.
She's
Nobody
not,
has
the only,
points.
she's not the only one that has any points,
Yay!
but she has the most points.
I mean, it works.
Somebody else has points, and it's not me.
How do I,
can't
get
That's it,
remember
Dave,
if she's
I'm
got
leaving.
points.
She's like, fuck this shit. I'm
Fuck
out.
this.
Right. First question.
I'd fuck shit, but the cleanup is just ugh.
I mean, if that's your kink, you do you.
Jenny
You're
would
gonna
probably.
get
Never mind. We're not
pressure-
going there. Dave, first
Pressure
question,
washer
Dave.
Quickly.
and stuff.
Yeah, come on.
Dave.
It's a
First
very
question.
apt question, I think, given
Do
the
not
topic of
make it a
conversation.
smutty one after that.
Sure. Question 1071. What is your favourite condiment?
Trojan.
Not condom.
Oh.
Condiment.
Before we answer,
I said that just in time.
I want to make a public service announcement. Practice safe eating, kiddies. Use proper condiments.
Yeah. I always get the mint ones.
Oh, also, I say ranch dressing.
What is ranch dressing?
It's delicious. That's what it is.
It's what it is. The Rage says easy red hot. Red hot, is that a flavour?
Oh, gross.
I'm assuming it's
No,
some kind
red
of
hot
sauce.
is
Anything you
It's
put
hot
Frank's
sauce,
on tastes
yeah.
like Frank's. It's disgusting. No.
it's very vinegary and it's not like a good
It's
flavor.
not hot at all. It's just like vinegar.
Takes
That's all
over
it is.
anything. It's there. It takes it right over. It tastes like Frank's and either bread or meat. It's just yeah. It takes over everything.
Yeah.
Favorite condiment. I'm gonna go with barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce. What sort of barbecue sauce, though? A smoky
gonna
barbecue or a sweet?
I tend to go more for a smoky kind of hickory kind of thing if I can get it, but it's good for barbecuing and it's good on burgers to replace ketchup because ketchup is just sweet tomato, so you may as well have ketchup plus flavor.
The barbecue sauce is just tartar ketchup with flavour.
Well, exactly. So cut out the middleman, go for the barbecue sauce.
The Rage says, you all don't have taste, you must all be Christians.
Oh, yeah.
That was low,
Hey.
man.
Fuck you, Knock.
Stool says, salad cream, who is objectively wrong.
Maybe cry a little bit.
Seraph says, Carolina Reaper sauce. That
Ooh,
sounds
that's
like
not
it'll
good.
kill you. Is it?
Oh, I don't believe anybody actually eats that.
I have a bottle of it, and you're uncomfortable for at least 40 minutes afterwards, I promise you.
And I know somebody who grows them and eats them straight. So yeah,
It's-
people eat that shit.
Is Marmite a condiment?
How long has it been since you were this?
What?
Quiet.
And this and this. Wait, what?
Why are you watching porn?
Jenny's watching.
I'm not.
She's.
I'm
I was gonna say that.
That's what I'm watching there. See?
That's totally porn.
Why are you watching trash TV?
I'm not. It's
brain
not
porn.
TV. It was a YouTube ad as I was trying to get this stupid show on my phone, so I can read the chat. Because I.
The chat
care
says,
about
was
the
that
chat.
porn? I forgot what I was going to say now. You completely thrown me.
Well,
God,
the
that
answer,
is tough.
the only correct.
I
answer
agree
is
with Harmonica, man. It's hard to pick one.
Yeah.
Ketchup.
I'm just going to what the ones I use the most often for stuff that I don't like to make it edible, which is ranch dressing.
Right, what do you buy when you get chicken McNuggets?
Chicken McNuggets, it depends. Usually I either get sweet and sour or honey mustard.
Honey mustard.
Honey mustard is the best for that. I agree.
Yeah, it depends on my mood though. But usually honey mustard, yeah.
I
That's a good
buy
one.
jars of honey mustard and just drink it with a straw.
That's not right.
I
That
kind of.
doesn't look right.
That shit ain't
Yeah,
right there.
I do.
No.
I do.
You can do it, but it ain't right.
I do.
So that ain't
I do.
That
right.
ain't right. That ain't right.
Ketchup too.
Never again says, ew, who eats chicken McNuggets? Say
Why
again?
do I think Jenny just like makes a thing of like vanilla pudding and puts it in like a mayonnaise jar, just goes out in public eating it to fuck with people?
I made the
That's
mistake.
something she would do, actually.
Yeah,
have-
like,
Actually, there used to be this product. That was called Motor Honey, and it came in this clear jar, and it looked the same color as honey. And it was glass jar, and when I would dump the stuff out, and I'd put in real honey after I washed the jar and stuff, and then I would just drink it in front of customers, and they just freaked out. Oh yeah.
You know,
Okay.
Dave, it's hard for me to answer that question because I tend to make my own.
Hmm?
Like I'll take something, a base like mayonnaise, or I have, it's like mayonnaise with garlic in it. And it's got real bits of garlic in it. I'll take that and a good hot sauce, not Frank's. And I'll chop up like hot peppers and put it in there. And maybe add like sometimes I'll get pickled jalapenos and I'll chop those up, add a little bit of the juice to it. So I don't have like one condiment. I always change them.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to respond to that.
That just sounds like it makes
because they're boring to me.
Yeah.
Yep. So
what's that?
Taking a condiment and changing it sounds like you're taking a condiment and changing it, so you still have a base.
Yeah.
So what are you starting with?
Yeah.
So it sounds like the mayo.
Yeah. So I guess my base would be either the garlic mayonnaise or mayonnaise. That's usually what I start out with. Even if I have something I want to dip ketchup in because ketchup is too sweet and cheesy, I still add stuff to it. I'll add some hot sauce to it and
horseradish.
Something else, or maybe a little mayonnaise.
You think that ketchup is cheesy? What kind of ketchup are you eating?
Cheese sauce.
See, a lot of it,
As
it
in
does depend on what you're
cheap,
eating, doesn't it?
nasty trailer park condiment. That kind of cheesy.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck? What kind of ketchup are you eating that's cheesy? I need to try this just for the fuck of it.
Well, you could get like that cheese dip that's in a jar for for dipping chips and stuff.
Get yourself some cheese whiz.
And you could mix that with
you have to acknowledge that cheese is the hard stuff that comes out of milk, and it's not supposed to be liquid.
I know.
So
No.
The thing you need to accept is cheese is the icky stuff that comes out of milk, and it's not meant to be eaten.
No, Dave, your opinion is wrong.
Under any circumstances.
No, Dave,
by
your
that logic,
wrong.
you would have to drink nothing but whey. Do you drink whey?
No.
And the closer cheese smells to poop is, the better.
No.
Not poop. What is it? Depends on the cheese, actually. I think there are probably some. There's a lot of fruit cheese out there. I don't know about poop. Durian fruit, I know that's not cheese. Does not make durian cheese.
No, I grew up in Wisconsin. I understand what cheese is.
Yeah.
No one seems to understand what cheese is. It is evil. That's what cheese is.
Dave,
it's still goodness.
No!
Dave, we've established your opinion is wrong.
Dave.
They take all the evil out. Yes?
Dave.
What?
Stop kink shaming people if they like cheese.
Dave, you grew up eating English food. Your opinion is just moot. Okay?
I don't know
this from an American. This from the inventors of cheese in a can.
That is not cheese. Cheese is solid. If it comes in a can, not cheese. Can't do it. That's our cheese product. Cheese product.
It's actually, yes, it's called a cheese food or a cheese product or a cheese spread. And it is not cheese, and they admit it if you read the label.
Yep.
Oh, no, I never said it was cheese. Also, again, like cheese flavored is usually what it is. It's kind of like most chocolate in the United States is called chocolate flavored.
Right, wait there. Not a Great Gamer is screaming at me in the chat. Do not preach such blasphemy. We will fall out. Cheese is your friend. Just give it a chance.
Just give cheese a chance.
All we are saying, Dave, is give cheese a chance.
Give cheese a chance.
Yes.
Never again. Cheese isn't evil, but cheese in a bottle is. There's nothing like good welfare cheese, says Music Collector. What's welfare cheese? There you go, stools. There you go. Stools, right? Cheese is the produce of the devil's foreskin.
Oh my god. Wait a minute. Hold on. You just got stool to back you up and you're excited about it.
It's fantastic. I agree with stool on something. It'll never happen again.
Write that down, Dave.
Getting desperate.
It's a good thing that like the quarantine is ending for a lot of people because Dave is agreeing with stool. We should be worried.
He's been locked up too long.
Yeah, you've been on the internet too long, Dave. It's time to pack it up.
What do you do with your pizza, Dave?
Dave, as a friend, you're agreeing with Stool. Could I suggest some sort of counselling?
The range is government cheese. I know it and tasted it. What the hell is government cheese?
American cheese in a box.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Government.
It's like
Government.
cheese factories.
it's like a generic Velveeta.
Wasn't that a
Sounds-
wartime thing?
It existed long
It's kinda like
before.
Velveeta,
it existed long
But
before
generic
Velveeta.
and harder.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
says, I think my favourite
It's true.
condiment has to be red gravy. What the hell is red gravy?
Ketchup.
I don't know. I asked him to explain.
Ketchup.
I'm assuming it's like red eye gravy.
Nag says, someone go up to Critical, please, and beat him up with a giant inflatable cheese. What exactly would a giant inflatable cheese look like?
Well, let's go to get some
Watch
of them
any
nothing
game from a team in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What?
Dave,
Take,
we just
take the hat off
Dave,
and start beating with it.
Dave, if we just get you like a red medicine ball, like a red bouncy ball, you can pretend it's Edam.
Ah, yeah. I'd roll down. I want to roll down hills. Music Collector says, I had blue welfare cheese with crisps this morning. I don't... That's
Blue
just
welfare
cheese that goes mouldy. Surely.
I love blue cheese. Oh,
In moderation. I can do like 1 or 2 pieces of blue cheese and enough I can.
I have...
What?
Don't think I've
Too
eaten...
the great thing about blue cheese is that you can make your own. You just got to do some body scrapings and stuff.
Jess!
See, the sad thing is, I just realised that I don't like cheese earlier, but I'm torn between like my dislike of cheese and having to agree with Stool. It's just right. Okay, seeing as we're probably not going to count Marmite as a condiment.
No.
I was going to ask about that.
HP.
HP's nice. I like HP.
I mean, I do like barbecue sauce on a lot of things, but I think there's a generic thing that I could put on just about most things to like mask a taste if it's something I don't like. HP is the way.
HP is better for masking because of its tang.
Yeah, because it's
What is
I mean,
HP? Is that like Miracle Whip?
No, it's
Brown
a brown sauce. It's like a steak sauce.
it's the original brown sauce. It's the
Oh.
and the best.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like A1.
Yeah. A1's
Oh, okay.
A1's a bit sweeter, I think, but yeah.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. I'm surprised no one said Liam Perrins, to be quite honest.
That is Worcestershire.
Sorry, I meant
No one
Worcestershire.
said what?
My head went.
We always
Worcestershire.
called it what that dare sauce.
It's from the county of Worcester.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not. So it's what that dare sauce.
Not a Great Gamer says, Critical, this nation has such fine cheeses. May I suggest Wookie Hole or Bomber to try? I've tried Wookie Hole. Dude, I'll buy you the cheese. Just don't fault the cheese. You need the cheese. We need you to need it. Why do you need me to need it? Surely if I don't eat it, there's more for you.
He just wants you to agree that cheese is good. That's all it is.
The cheese
Oh, yeah,
isn't good.
It's peer pressure, man.
This is nothing. They're just looking for validation. Don't buy into that. Just be you, man. Don't worry about it.
Nope.
Wait till he get
No
onto
peer
tomatoes.
pressure in the chat.
No.
Right. Did everyone answer?
Yes.
I don't remember. In which case, we should go on to the next question. Validation of fromage is needed. No, it's not. Right. Question 1072. If your entire browser history was to be made public tomorrow, who would you call first?
The funeral home for my suicide.
Not good.
Why the fuck would I call someone about my browser history? What the fuck?
Well, normally I go along
Like he's saying to explain it before they get a hold of you and say what the fuck. Is what he means.
I'd be sad.
I believe.
Who would I be calling?
Still says SeaWorld.
Fact.
I'd be calling Dave, and here's why. I said, Dave, there's a lot of very questionable things that I have Googled over the years. However, I'm going to blame it all on you because I say I'm Googling them to increase my knowledge on critical questions when things come up. So I'm going to basically throw Dave under the bus.
But it's nice of you to warn me.
Yeah. Well, I'd be polite and warn you first.
I like that answer. Sarah.
I don't think I call anybody. I don't have anyone like I call to explain this shit because it's none of their business. But if they're gonna find out, fuck them. Surprise, motherfuckers.
Not like Mum. You know you think I'm a nice, sweet Christian girl.
Oh, my mom's dead.
Sorry, I didn't know. Oops.
I like how he's apologizing, and my thing was fucker.
Lucy just says, "You'd know I watched a man shagging a teddy."
That teddy was dressed very provocatively. That teddy was asking for him. Just saying.
Harmonica Man says, "My attorney." Music Collector says, "Dave would be screwed. His browser is porn." It's not just porn.
It's mostly porn, Dave. Just
It's
admit it.
StreamYards and YouTube too.
I mean, Jenny was watching porn on the show, so
I
fuck it.
know. This makes it after.
Isn't
Chad.
does.
that why you asked me on?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's the thing. He thinks we're going to like BBC One prime time. The truth is, this show's going to Pornhub.
I'm not taking off any more clothes.
If we're going to Pornhub, I want a cut of the money.
Little do you guys know, the only reason I hide my face is because I'm naked the entire time. That's all it is.
I was gonna say, if I take off my tank top, I'm all out. So
Come on, Jeff.
People be like, Babe Station's really let itself go these days.
Boy, yes. Lucy, I'm not saying that word here. That word has never been uttered here, and I don't think anyone ever will. Because it's Nerdy's word. Chad.
oh, don't.
No,
I really can't think of an answer.
You can't?
No, I'm really thinking about it. Like, it depends what you mean by public. If you say public, like everybody on the internet knows, or anybody can make it available, or can know what it is.
Let's go with sent to everyone you know.
Sent to everyone I know, to everybody relevant.
Yes.
Well, that's basically the same thing because anybody who doesn't know me wouldn't give a shit. This is random guy number 427 on the internet. And as for the rest of it, I just tell them to. Well, I suppose the first person I'd call would be the first person who tried to call me and missed me so wanted me to explain it. At that point, I'd call them back and say, "Take a long drag in the arse."
I'm gonna to be honest.
That's my phone call. If somebody's curious, I'd take the first one and tell them to pass it around.
That works.
To be fair, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to call someone who's like the equivalent of the Fixer Man in Pulp Fiction.
I'm just gonna start asking people for suggestions. It's like, you see what I like? If you have anything that you like this as well, you can suggest shit to me because we'll talk about it. We'll watch porn together. Fuck it. Let's do this.
You're likely just to get half a dozen phone calls from. You're into that too?
Exactly.
Talk about that.
Everyone's internet history is just as bad. That's the thing.
Most of the stuff will be people that I know from real life being like, we just legit thought you were sweet and innocent. What the fuck, woman? What the fuck?
Apparently Bees is worse.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying,
No.
though.
Mine is boring. That's the point. I don't like a random Pornhub. That's it. I don't even go beyond that. Like maybe once a month or every 2 months. Like,
so,
I don't know.
Who would you call?
I got nothing, man.
Who would you call?
I wouldn't call anybody. Like, nobody's gonna. My family doesn't give a shit. When I came out of the closet, they were like, "All right," like they're not. If somebody said, "Oh, she's been watching Pornhub," they'd be like, "All right, so do I." Like, nobody would give a shit. Honestly, my sister would go, "No, that's probably about right." I mean, that's the only one. Nobody else.
Like, coming out was so much easier before the internet.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Why?
Because people wouldn't.
What are you talking about?
You could come out and say that I am such and such, and people wouldn't have anywhere to go to find out what that is.
I'm a Tyrannosaurus.
How far back are we going to, though, for people that we know? Because for like the last couple of months, the only people that I really know are you guys, and I'm hoping you guys are judgmental of shit.
Do you want to know something disturbing? Now,
Sure.
I have either completely forgotten something in the past,
Uh-huh.
or I just discovered something.
Oh,
I discovered
good.
it about
I like
3
this.
weeks ago. Okay? Right? There is a gay slang thing where men will go woof at each other.
We'll go
Sure.
what at each
Like
other?
bark at each other?
No, they will.
That's
They
what
will
I'm
go,
starting.
woof
I'm starting
to each other.
I'm starting to see the
Right?
origin of something right now.
Wait,
right?
wait, Jeff, I can't hear what he's saying. I don't understand. What are you talking about?
They
now?
will. They will bark at each other. They
Wow.
will, to let each other know. So one will go woof and the other will woof back, and and there's this thing to let each other know that they're into bears is the slang, right? Here's the thing, I didn't know this, and I have been woofing at people since I was fucking 20.
You were doing it before the show.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
You're doing
You
it.
go into every chat.
Yeah.
Bark.
Forward.
Yes!
I assure you,
Now.
I knew you were gay long before you ever woofed.
Oh, Dave.
Poor Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Well-
Dave is not gay. He's just greedy. Anyways,
Greedy.
give Sarah too.
Dave
Yes,
is
Dave.
gay.
Yes, but
That's
Dave,
what I
as
tell
we
people. It's like I'm part gay. It's okay.
as we know, we had to kind of ward you off once when you've mentioned a certain meat product that's got a very different meaning outside.
I mean, that's true.
So
Nerdy says, I just squeak. Next
Does that
is
mean that whenever I was squeaking it back at Nerdy that I was hitting on him or something?
I think so.
Oh, well, I'm sorry,
it-
Nerdy.
Never Again says, never heard of it. Most of my gay friends died in the 80s, and I knew a ton of gay guys. I'm surprised I
Yeah, a
haven't
lot
heard
of gay
it.
men died in the 80s.
Nerdy
Sorry,
says,
what,
Did
Dave?
that?
What?
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 Who shot who in the what now?
No, I said something
did
as
it
you
too.
were talking. I was apologizing.
I thought Dave said woof.
He does. He woofs at us. All of us. So Dave wants to know if we're into bears.
No. Right. Ilya says, I'd call my parents and apologise for all the porn. And Starkey says,
All
so
of
that's
it?
why Dave says woof. No, that's not why Dave says woof.
I wouldn't apologise for all the porn, just the ones I starred in.
Did you ever stop and wonder why your dad saved certain Playboys and not others?
If my father ever had any porn, he hid it very well. To the point where I looked everywhere.
So my mom actually caught my stepfather watching one of those Cinemax movies, which is like the softcore porn. They broke up for like 2 months because she caught him doing that, thinking that he was cheating on her.
That's
Sounds
not
like it was good for his mental health.
He was just looking for hints.
I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, what? How is that cheating?
Adultery happens in the mind.
Apparently so. That's what she said. Like my family's very hardcore Christian.
You have
So.
committed adultery in your heart.
Yes, President Carter.
I've been called many things.
I like that. Ilya says, I mean, just sorry that they have to see that I watch porn. Doesn't matter what kind. I'm eclectic, so if I had to apologise for the types, I'd be there all day. Nerdy says, I'd probably call the police, as I would have been the victim of a computer crime. Good luck reading all the GitHub pages. It's terrible. Right. Jenny.
I answered the first thing.
Did you? What did you say?
Who would I call the funeral home to set up for my suicide?
You're right, you did. I didn't think that was a serious answer. I thought that
I
was
would
a
be.
joke
I
answer.
would be just absolutely mortified if people found out I was Republican.
All I'm picturing now is that Jenny watched a lot of those Sarah Palin parody porns back when she was part of the presidential stuff.
Hey, come on, she's hot.
Hey, she's hot. That's what I'm saying. Like you probably watched a lot of those. I did too. So no worries.
Right, I think we should move on. We have a Godless Granny question. Right.
What do we got?
We have got question 1073. Assuming you could survive on all of them, and you had to move off Earth, which planet would you choose to live on?
Pluto. Oh, wait, no, Pluto's not a planet.
question.
So,
Does it have to be a planet? Could it be a moon?
Dwarf planets are going to be allowed for this as well.
Dwarf planets are going to be allowed,
Be a
and
moon
I
or a
think we will
dwarf
accept
planet.
the moon.
Get that out of the way now.
I'm going to Pluto because that's a far enough to fuck away from
You will
everyone
accept moons?
alone.
We'll accept moons. Yep.
Okay, moons are good. I'm gonna go with Saturn's moon Titan. Explicitly because it is cold enough to have lakes of liquid methane, and gravity is low enough, but the atmosphere is dense enough that a human being just wearing a sweater, a baggy sweater, flapping their arms could effectively fly. Like that's
I got
how
green.
gravity
I didn't
works.
go like that.
So I want to go there. That'd be pretty cool. They're planning on building pretty cool drones, but I told you, Dave, someone would learn something.
No, never. Randolph says planet Marklar.
That's
What's
not
the furthest-
real.
That's not a planet in our solar system.
What is the furthest
sorry,
planet?
is-
Oh, it has
is-
to be in the solar system, so fuck it, Pluto.
I was going to say I wasn't sure that our solar system was, you know, I was thinking of getting a little further away.
Kepler 22b.
Yeah.
Could I have a couple of places in the Oort cloud?
Yes, but you'd have to name them.
Oh god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I could do that.
I was gonna say, like, the number of named bodies in the Oort cloud is not there. It's not that good. I mean, you can name Halley's Comet, but that's about it. Whatever.
But it's not part of the Oort cloud anymore. It may have started that way,
It is.
but
It is part of the
now
Oort cloud. because
yeah, but
when
it
the
spends
Oort
most of
cloud's
its time out of it. So,
But what
it's
they
kind of
tend
an
to do
independent
is
soul.
they tend to go faster around the sun. So when they're really far out, they spend a lot of time there. So it turns out that most of them are just hanging out around there. A lot of them are doing this weird elliptical thing around the sun. They're just not a problem for us.
It's like the thingy question. Wait, it's like the thingy question. What planet spends most of its time closest to Jupiter?
And that's not correct. The amount the relative speed of the wedge of an ellipse is the same on the short side as the long side, or
The
something
not
like
the
that.
speed, but the area. It's Kepler's second law. It's the area swept out of the ellipsis. The area swept out in a period of time is the same as the area swept out on the other end of the curve. So it goes fast, close to the sun, slow, far away. So it's kind of this whoosh, whoosh, whoosh kind of thing.
Ooh.
So it spends most of its time hanging out here doing nothing. But Halley's Comet every 70 odd years or so will make its way
76.
Something like that. I got a lot of stuff in my head. I round things to the nearest 5 or 10.
Okay. Can
Right.
I answer it? Can I answer this?
Not yet.
I like those whooshing noises.
Dude, appreciate it.
2 seconds. Let me catch him on the chat. Ilya, Europa, it's
No,
a
it was
moon.
more like a whoosh. Whoosh.
Worse.
Yeah.
Nerdy, I would choose to
Dave,
live on
I
a-
would say one of the ice giants, because if you have water, you can survive.
Yeah, but the ice giants
You
don't
make everything
necessarily
else
have
work.
water
If you
on
don't
them.
have water, huh?
The ice giants don't necessarily have water on them.
Europa.
So,
Europa
Europa's not an ice giant, it's a moon.
I
what
would
if you're
pick. I would
just
pick.
stick to the water since it's gonna be nice, giant? You're just gonna like the whole time like.
Right, just let me catch him on the chat. Okay? Nerdy says, I choose to live on a planet in the Goldilocks zone, so very, very far away from this galaxy. What? Seraph said I didn't specify
Well-
the solar system. I'm specifying the solar system. Ilya
There
says
would always
definitely
be the
Europa for me.
other Earth, the one that's on the opposite side of our ellipse. It's the
Nemesis.
exact same. Is that the name of it? I forgot.
Not a great gamer says the smallest moon isn't known as more have been discovered and their size isn't exactly known. I think we're going to have to redefine moon at some point.
That's no moon.
Deimos?
Do we have to show moons now?
No.
I could.
Randolph says Toblerone. It's a universal chocolate. Music Collector says Nibiru Cataclysm, which is... That's Dave's yoga ball. I am losing track of this completely.
Dave's yoga ball is the final frontier, by the way.
I just saw that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't Mercury actually spends most of its time closest to our other planets? It is Mercury. To all of them. Jeff!
Eris.
Nice.
Why Eris?
Because it's even further away than fucking Pluto.
Everyone leave it even more alone. It's great.
I thought Eris was a moon of Mars.
No.
You think
What
it's
is the
Bewas?
furthest thing that I can pick that's one of the options, Dave? That's what I want to go to because I don't.
It would be something with a random like three alphabet letters and a load of numbers.
Yeah.
I want to go on one of those. Every time they find a new one that's further away, I'm going to move to that one. It's okay. It's fine.
You know you're not going to get laid there.
I don't care. I'll be away from people. I'll give me some demon semen. It'll be fine.
There's a shit ton of asteroids. There's a shit ton of asteroids just past Eris.
Oh yeah, that's right. Eris.
Not like I'm getting laid here anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah, has this been the biggest waste of time or what?
I'm actually thinking my chances of getting laid are going to improve, actually, but...
Major Sea Salt says Planet Europa.
I haven't answered yet. Can I answer?
Yes, you can go.
No.
All right.
Don't make it educational, damn it.
I would pick our moon.
Sorry.
Our moon.
Our moon, yes.
Why?
And
Damn it.
because then I would have like entertainment, being able to watch, stare at the Earth and see these little pops of light as it nukes itself to death. Buenos Aires. Oh, look, New York City.
You want a big telescope?
See, but really, you don't want to be on our moon if that happens.
Well,
That's where everyone's going to run
I
to.
feel like that might be a little too close. You might want to be a little further away. You'll see it blow. Don't worry.
Oh no, gravitational forces are going to hold all that shit in.
I'm going to start the Flat Eris Society.
Nerdy says, given that we have this special ability to live anywhere, how about just living on an asteroid or a comet? I would accept that, but that's outside the spirit of the question. I think living on a comet would be quite cool, living inside it. In fact, I'm sure
I just don't think it would matter as long as you have some form of water. I think we could. Yeah, I'm not picky.
I'm wondering now if someone can help me.
A lot of comments are ice-based. So.
I've just
Jenny, you talked right over Dave. What, Dave?
I'm sorry.
I've just had a weird flashback to school where there were reading a book at school that I think was where there were people on Earth that came from Halley's Comet. And I'm damned if I remember what it was.
Whatever you want to believe, Dave. You believe whatever you like, sweetness.
Weird memories. Go on, Jenny. What were you going to say?
I forget.
Yeah, Jenny, go.
That's the problem I have. Music Collector says Mars. Right. Did everyone answer?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
You did, furthest away. Nag says, Nerdy, we couldn't live on an asteroid without severe effects on our body. However, travelling through time on an asteroid is kind of possible, as when you went near larger masses, time would accelerate. Yes, okay. And cheese and moons are awesome. Say again?
No,
I was just saying that a rocket ship too. If you don't have, anyways. Sorry, just being pedantic.
Not a great. The one with the big fancy comment has to learn no education.
Yes. And Randolph said, fun fact, Prophet Muhammad split the moon in half. We can see it with our own eyes. Yeah. Right. Next question. It's a serious one. Question 1074.
Yay!
Given the level of plastics entering our oceans, is it not time to ban plastic?
Honey, it was time to ban plastic years ago.
It was that time then too.
Years ago. It
Why?
never should have been used the way we use it.
Why not?
Yeah, true.
Because it's destructive.
How is it destructive?
It would be fine if we actually recycled everything. If we actually took every piece of plastic and threw it back into the system and recycled it, it would be fine. But that doesn't happen.
No, it would be fine.
I
if
feel
we
like we have
disposed of it
about
properly.
70% of the world that doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And they just throw shit out windows and let it blow around their yard and throw their trash everywhere. And
yes, so the issue surely then is the disposal of plastic that is the fault, not the plastic.
Well, if you got a child and it's throwing cake all over the place, you take away the cake.
Nerdy says no, plastics are essential. Ilya says, I don't know if we can ban all plastic though. It should be mandated recycled. What we can't replace and replace what we can. Yandia says, I never had plastic objects in the 80s. Nerdy says, manufacturers need to be more responsible for their own packaging. The thing is, I think what Nerdy said there, manufacturers need to be responsible for their own packaging. I think they're right. I think if you start putting the cost of disposal onto manufacturers, all of a sudden they'll start coming up with alternatives, or they'll include the cost of disposing. Sammy says some plastics are essential, but all non-essential plastics should be replaced with starch products or hemp. Okay, here's the problem I've got with that, and it's a big one. Shame Manda's not here. An awful lot of the alternatives that we have to plastic produce a lot more CO2.
Correct.
And right now, I'd say CO2 is more of a problem.
Well, yeah, true.
Right? I think we should be disposing of what plastic we're using now properly, and that even if that's just putting it in the ground where it's dormant and gone. Right? And that's fine. And then once we've solved the CO2 problem, we can deal with this with more stuff that pollutes more from a CO2 perspective.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
People on the planet to handle more than one problem at once, so it's not like we can get anybody to focus on one problem right now. So I think we can handle CO2 and this, given that 80% of the population is not going to give a fuck about one or the other.
I think you're right, but the problem is that people are waking up to the fact that, for example, the problem with the plastic in the oceans is not a problem with plastic. It's a problem with people putting plastic in the oceans.
I would argue that it's not so much a problem of the people waking up as opposed to the people who know better getting older. The problem is we're in a generational thing. We're not trying to educate,
I agree.
we're not trying to educate, these people. We're basically waiting 20 years for them to die. Unfortunately, that's the kind of situation we're in.
Well, Trump's helping with that.
He is, yes. COVID's been nice in some respects for pointing out the arrogance in people. You can't really hide from it these days, but that's probably
I can't believe. Well, there is this anti-environmental act that I've seen performed live numerous times, and it makes me absolutely crazy that people can do it. You're sitting at a stoplight, and suddenly the guy in front of you, you see the car door open up, and they dump out their ashtray right on the street. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? How can you think that that's okay?
See, that annoys the hell out of me. Like, where I spent some time on the ship, cigarette butts were a huge issue because those do not go overboard. So I got in the habit of just rolling out the last little bit of tobacco, putting the butt in my pocket, and storing it later. You have to do with plastic. That's the kind of stuff that doesn't break down and kill stuff. Because there should be
required field stripping if you're a smoker.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wait there.
I actually got in the habit of that when I was in the Army.
Yeah.
You better not throw trash on the ground. Yeah.
Exactly.
Field strip it, put it in your pocket. Yep.
Not a great gamer gave me a super chat. £2. Hashtag cheese for critical. Thank you very much. I'll be sure to spend it on cheese.
Woohoo! That's some cheap cheese. You get $2 worth of premium cheese.
Critical. There's this really one particular cheese that I think you should try. It's really quite unique and extremely tasty. It's they take like a brie, one of those soft French pretend cheeses, and they mix in spider carcass.
What? Wait there. Did I miss that? No, it's okay.
They mix in what? Sorry?
Spider carcass.
I'd be okay with that. I'd try it.
I wouldn't.
No.
Wait. Not great game.
For $2, Dave. Come on.
Well, it's French.
See, there is something I have a bigger problem than cheese. And that's spiders.
Yeah, but it's not like they're alive.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Dave's worst nightmare is a cheese spider.
Sorry, I got distracted. Not a great game. Plastic is okay, providing we recycled it efficiently. Disposal is tricky. Disposal is easy. Disposal of plastic is easy. It's not efficient, but it's easy. You put it in the ground somewhere safe. You know, it's not going anywhere.
There's a process they can do with microwaving that will actually return plastics back to their original state of crude oil.
Not quite. There are certain things they can do right now. They're very energy intensive.
Yeah, that kind of cracking.
I can't see that being the case with all plastics, though.
Yeah, it's hard to break up the chlorines in a lot of the harder type plastics.
You know, there's a. Sorry, Chad. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, making noise. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
There's a guy that actually created his own little island habitat, and it is all floating on scraps of plastic that he has found floating in the water. And he finds them, he attaches them. Yeah, he puts air in it, he attaches it, nets it, and he builds. And he has this huge, beautiful environment he's created because he didn't want the pollution to keep going down the river past him, so he just started doing that. So. And he's got like gardens and a tree house thing. And
I think I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I've never seen a documentary on that.
You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right, quick chat.
It's on YouTube, yeah. There's
Never Again
interviews with
says
him.
glass worked, but glass was more expensive to clean.
Well, and ship, it was heavier, but
it was heavier. You're right.
glass
Again,
is
CO2
so
again.
far superior.
But with
Glass is one of the most perfect
glass
materials on Earth.
Sorry, get
It's
that.
infinitely recyclable. It seals better than anything.
Well, exactly.
It's pretty.
The only reason we use plastic for these things is to basically reduce the shipping cost because glass is too heavy. It's cheaper, it's more recyclable. That's why we still get the deposits on liquor bottles, no matter where you go. Because sometimes cans and other things are a toss out because they need the glass back. That's good recycling.
I mean, I'm all for the use of plastic, you know, for things like car interiors or the casings for medical equipment or stereo equipment at home or something like, you know, practical, actual.
How is that better than wood?
That are going to be around.
Well,
versus plastic being used for things like bottles and bags and utensils and.
Again, the bag one is the bag one. The plastic bags is a big one. Plastic bags is better. Disposable plastic bags are more energy efficient than any of the alternatives.
Yeah, but they really
being energy efficient does not mean having a lesser environmental impact.
Yeah, but
at the moment it does. Again, assuming you're not dumping it in the sea.
But we are talking, obviously, where plastic originally comes from. That is going to become a big issue, I think, over the next century.
Yes, it will. Oh, and don't get me wrong, the plastics problem, in a lot of respects, has to go away.
Yeah,
because at the moment, plastic is so cheap because it's it's ultimately a byproduct.
There's plastics that a lot of people for a long time have really shouted about certain plastics and their effects on the environment, but. It's a little bit of there's a trade-off with them now. Like for example, FRPs and GRPs. Now there are some obviously some issues with the manufacturing of them, but but at the same time, a lot of the production of base resins and fiber rovings, they don't just have same environmental impacts as metals. They actually can be longer lasting and more sustainable for products you can manufacture. So there is a kind of trade-off there. So I certainly wouldn't be in favour of just doing away with GRPs and FRPs overnight.
Right, quick, I've got to catch up on the chat with Miles behind. Never again, I dislike the plastic very much. It's toxic. Is it toxic?
When you burn it,
Not
burn
so
it, yeah,
much, but it's bad.
Yes,
You can't-
fair enough. Not a great game. No, don't bury plastic. Haven't you seen Michael Jackson's Earth Song? Music collector. Have you watched Hemp for War? No.
What?
Never again. Ooh, I like Serious Dave. I just sat up straight. Grins. Yeah, you should see him discussing serious topic. No, he's not brilliant.
You are too.
Randolph. Randolph. Some people dump their hot ashes into the highways at night. I stand on my brakes once because the idiot in front of me did that. The person behind me almost crashed into me. I don't know. It was hot ashes. I thought it was something dangerous, which is why I tried to avoid it. Never again. I got into that habit in childhood. I was raised to leave everything better than I found it. Hard, fast, physically enforced rules. Not fun, but effective. Now they're talking about the spider. We're not eating spider cheese.
Yeah, spider cheese for Dave.
oh, see,
I'll do it.
the protein content is so high.
Not a great gamer says that's just more landfill. We don't need more landfill. The point is that landfill is not. It's not great, but it's also not terrible.
I'm going to jump in here with something controversial about landfills. Well, if you think about how much of our plastic goes into those landfills, as well as the number of circuit boards and metal products that end up in there.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the density of materials, it should be viable to mine that, shouldn't it?
I mean, they are already talking about the landfills being potential future mines.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. So, like with all those plastics being thrown in there, in principle, all that stuff. The only reason why we can't recycle plastic here is because we don't have essentially the oven to melt the plastic down in. There's a guy, one of my buddies in Halifax, though, has he actually has one of these ovens, and he actually takes plastic stuff and makes his own cordage for his 3D printer out of it. But unfortunately, it cost him like $6,000 to get that thing. So he's got his own manufacturing.
It's one of those things, again, that because it's not discussed, I think we would be a lot better off now if we did a bit of landfill with a bit of sorting. So that at the moment, when we decide, this is going to landfill, then it all goes to landfill, rather than saying,
right now, I'm thinking about mining the landfills that are back in the 1920s when they weren't recycling, because there's a whole bunch of cast iron stuff in there.
Yeah,
and that's scrap metal. That's the first thing that we're going to start taking to the war starts.
I know at least two.
We'll get to that point
landfills.
Eventually where we have to do that.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Jenny.
Two different landfills that harvest methane on a 24/7 basis.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good thing to take it and burn it because the CO2 is better than the methane, but it's not ideal. But we've got to make garbage. You may as well burn it. Yeah. When it comes to that stuff.
Can I just bring up my pet peeve about plastics?
Sure.
One of the worst things about the plastic bags for me is when they blow around and get caught up in trees.
Why?
Why? Because they make lots and lots of noise and frighten birds who have used those trees for years and years. Those beautiful little golden chickadees that everybody loves to see as they swoop and cheep, and they're such lovely little birds. They return to the same nest every year, and you get one bag caught in that tree, and they're gone.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
So you take your bag. So please, this is only going to take a second. You take your bag. There's no way it's going to get in the tree.
No, you see, you don't dispose of it. You reuse it.
But you can't assume all those bags came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. You watch how garbage handlers handle stuff. Shit falls out of your receptacle as they dump it on their truck. They don't fucking care. They don't pick it up.
No.
So you do this, and you've guaranteed that it's not going to get in the fucking trees and cause all kinds of other problems. You ever go around to the fences by a landfill? They are thick. They're literally 2, 3, 4 feet thick with
Right.
bags that have blown up and stacked up against them.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you.
It's-
Where?
Just,
Give us 2 secs. Sammy is screaming.
seconds.
Where?
and if
Sammy
you want
is-
to restore and reuse them, it's a good way to store them too. Which is what I do. I never throw one of these out until it's got holes that it makes it unusable.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
Yeah,
this
I'm
is the
the
way
same
to
way.
go. Sammy is screaming. Just get the plastic out of the fucking oceans. Don't care how we do it.
Mm.
Um,
A lot
Right.
of this goes back to, though, is not the material necessarily themselves. It is people's attitude towards the use of
Yes.
them and the disposal of them.
yes.
That is something that fundamentally needs to change on a societal level.
Yes.
How
agree
we-
completely.
Sometimes I think, okay, I know we do put a lot of emphasis on the individual. I get that a lot of the time. This has always been a big argument with the environmentalism for ages, like with people putting emphasis on the individual. But there honestly needs to be something done collectively. Now, will that mean it may need to be enforced in some sort of way? I think it's unavoidable at this point. That we've got to be forced to change our attitudes towards it.
It's got a cost, is the point.
Yeah, it's got a cost. Yeah.
It's got a cost. Right. Sarah, before we move on, anything to add?
Meow.
Yeah. Meow. Is that
I'm
meow
not
or
smart
now?
enough
Dave.
I'm not smart enough to have an opinion on this conversation, so
There you are.
Yeah.
Sarah,
Neither am I, Sarah, but I'm still putting my
Sarah.
2 cents worth in.
no,
Okay, so let me say
I-
real quick. Let me say real quick. Where I live, they have a no plastic bag policy.
Mm-hmm.
The only stores that have plastic bags, they're recycled and they're made so they break down easier. They charge even for the paper bags. And I'm telling you, the amount of people that actually will buy a bag is slim to none. And you don't see, I'm telling, like, I've lived in 9 different states. There aren't plastic bags blowing around here. If you see one, it's like, wow, where did that come from?
the thing about plastic
don't-
bags,
they're
Not
just
an
not-
American Beauty moment.
sorry.
They're just not, you don't see trash laying around here. You don't see, they have recycling bins everywhere. The people are fairly respectable. Now, you will find some trash randomly blowing around. It's a very windy environment. It will blow out of trash cans and stuff. But as far as plastic bags and plastic materials in general, that's usually not what you see blowing around. It's usually paper and cardboard and stuff.
I was
Because they
actually
don't promote that. Every store sells reusable bags, really cheap. There's stores around here that sell the cloth bags that are reusable. People have those. Like, they'll bring them in all the time because 10 cents at a time, that adds up. And they don't want to spend the money, and 2, they care about the environment. So it just doesn't happen here.
I get my.
So
I
if
get my
every
ba-
city did
bags-
that, you guys would be blown away at the impact. Blown away.
Right. Can I say something on this? Because I think we've got very het up on plastic shopping bags here, which is a fair point. And I'm not saying it's a fair point. Of course it is. But that is obviously, we've got to look at everything from general like food packaging and that in packaging of goods in general. The goods that you put
Oh,
in
absolutely.
your, and would it be better, I think, if we could, as much as possible, move away from unnecessarily using plastics in packaging like foodstuffs or
We
whatever.
don't have
whatever it
viable
might be.
alternatives for
But
a
that's
lot of
that.
food stuff.
Therein lies an issue, though. It is what are the viable alternatives to, and it isn't necessarily just food packaging. This could be, just packaging in general. When we got, you ever go to something like a garden centre and you got great big, you buy bags of, I don't know, like soil or peat or whatever. They're all in great big plastic sacks. Now, is there a viable alternative to that? I don't know, but we need to be looking at
Yes
them.
and no. The
Well, I
viable
have seen in my time food products packaged in thin cardboard, thick paper type with wax, and they wax
It's not
it.
again,
it holds
at the
the
end of the day,
liquids in, blah blah blah. So
It's
it
not as
can be
fresh.
done. It
No, it
costs more
can't.
money, and the manufacturers don't want to
Hold
spend the
on.
money on it.
No, B, you're missing the point here. Wait. You're missing the point here, B, with this one. It costs more money, yes, that's
What?
not the problem. The problem is it is not as fresh. The shelf life is massively reduced. We do not get the shelf life out of anything but plastic.
That is the problem.
Well,
So
I won't disagree
you
with
mean that that the manufacturers will have to make sure the food's on the shelf faster?
No, it just won't last. And the point
So
is,
what
it
we have to
requires
do in
a
order to-
change across the entire economy, basically.
Well,
what we're saying.
What the ultimate problem there is society's tendency to overproduce when it comes to it. That is the big issue there.
Right. We're moving on.
That is, yeah,
we're going to go further way down the economy of it. And we've already been warned that it's getting
We could
far
talk
too
about this for
educational.
5 hours.
I know, and someone else has suggested that we take it into a separate stream at some point.
Next question.
Hey, Dave.
What?
I do suggest if we have a separate stream
Next
on this, we
question.
need to have Manda in this involved in it.
Yes.
Oh, no,
Right.
definitely.
Next question. Question 1075. If you could be any tree, which tree would you be?
Hemlock.
Oh, God.
Hemlock.
Hemlock, no doubt.
What a wonderful question.
I love hemlock trees, everything about them.
There'd be so many different trees I'd like to be.
You have to pick one.
I know, it's almost impossible.
We'll give us the top 3 and then narrow it down.
I mean, they're so different. I mean, to be a sequoia, or to be bristlecone pine, and to see all that time go by, to be an oak, and to spread your arms to a 100-foot diameter canopy.
Nag
Yeah,
says
but
a
if you're
tree
like
with no
an oak,
plastic
they might
back
chop
hanging
you
in
down and make furniture out of you.
That's true of any tree, though.
Well, a lot of places ban that kind of activity on century oaks and stuff like that now.
Yandia says cedar tree. I love the smell.
And to be an elm tree, with the beautiful draping arms.
Then when you get cut down, you get made into a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
An English longbow.
David Melbourne says the giving tree.
Longbows.
Happy to hear you.
I was thinking L. Randolph says I'd be an Ent. That doesn't count.
Oh,
I like that answer.
Ent from Lord of the Rings.
True neutral.
Lord of the Rings, the talking, walking trees.
Seraph says a tall tree away from civilization. Don't really care what type. David Melbourne says Groot. You can't be Groot. I'm Groot.
I am Groot.
No, I'm Groot.
Sorry, if we're going down, as it seems to be from the chat that we're allowed to go down like fantasy lines here,
We're not.
Well, as they are now, I'm going to, and I'm going to be Yggdrasil, the tree of all the
I was
worlds.
going to say I'd be Yggdrasil.
Tough shit, I've called it.
Mine was going to be I am Groot, but apparently that's been taken, so I cannot be Groot.
Harmonica says a pear tree. Because I can
Okay,
busy
I've
with
made
a
up my
partridge.
mind.
Go on.
I want to be a sequoia, but as I grow up, I want them to graft. I want them to graft other tree types onto me, so that I can be many trees at once.
So there can be many trees at once. It makes me. Nope, not
I've
gonna
got
do
a buddy of mine who's got an apple tree like that. He just started growing a bunch of trees, and he's spliced every type of apple on this thing, so it's going to be insane.
Oh, they mix fruits. They do like put a branch of pear on an apple tree, or a plum branch, or
My buddy goes from home when the war starts, so he's got it all figured out down that way.
Everyone's going like the big tree route. What about something like a bonsai tree?
I don't like being short.
Well, that's okay. There's short people.
Bonsai tree, you'd be attacked every single week of your life. Why would want that? You'd have somebody stabbing you and cutting you and making you grow up as a.
They give you a nice trim. It's like having a haircut with maybe a little bit of plastic surgery every week. I think.
Well, yeah, but that's a child you had at that point. I mean, what are you advocating for here?
It seems more like you're trimming your pubes though, because it's so small.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, but lob it off your arm half every
Manscaped.
other week.
Stool says this. Say again?
I was just saying you'd be pretty as a bonsai tree. Bonsai trees actually reproduce where they have to actually start with a full tree and go.
Are
Yeah, like there's-
bonsai trees
aren't
pretty
they?
in their own right? Or are they just kept pretty?
I started an elm tree in a pot. I had a 10-inch pot, and I got it to grow to about a 1.5 feet high. And I didn't understand what I was doing or anything like that, so it eventually died. But it was really neat. I was able to trim it, and I had this little elm tree on my desk. It was so cute.
Randolph Richards says, are bonsai trees likely to suffer from short tree syndrome?
Where they need to feel important, so they fall down to break your
Yeah.
Rolodex or something.
PTSDS,
Oh,
traumatic short tree syndrome.
Nerdy says he's either Groot or a banana tree, so he could go for a walk.
now technically, it's generally a smaller tree, but I think I have an answer here. Coca.
Fair enough.
And I just like the idea people are going to get high off me.
Sammy asked if weed was a tree.
Yes, I can't remember. Is weed a bush? A shrub?
Or a bush. I mean, coca barely qualifies as a tree, but it
Brainbug says mangrove. Never Again says, I'd be a giant redwood. If they cut me down after living 1,000 years, my roots grow back and I make a whole freaking ring of trees that are still me.
What is the name of...
Nice.
There's this one superorganism somewhere in the U.S. I can't remember where it is.
The one that roots out and...
Aspens do that.
The aspens?
Yeah.
Because I know there's this one superorganism. In principle, it's one tree, but it's...
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
We
the
do
aspen.
Can we do that tree? I mean, I'm sticking with hemlock, but I'm just throwing that out there as a pretty cool alternative.
I'd quite like to be one that has a root system that's...
Well, you can take over the country in principle. You can invade places.
The problem is you're susceptible to herbicide. Sarah.
I'm torn between either a weeping willow or a ginkgo, since they're both really, really pretty trees.
weeping willows are lovely.
Yeah.
Mm.
They
I
have
had
such
thought
a
about a
short
weeping
lifespan.
willow. They're
We got-
beautiful.
We've got a lot of them in the UK, but
We're being warned about getting
And you can
educational again.
provide. And you can
Whips.
provide people and animals with shade. 'Cause
Oh, I was
Exactly.
thinking- I was more
So
thinking you could
thick.
provide people with whips.
Well, that too. That was my other thing as well. Yeah.
Brainbreak says Pando is the name of that colonial tree. As in that one colonial tree, or as in the breed. Not a great gamer says, Critical, can I be a platypus? It's not a tree, but I'd feel special. No, because it's not a tree.
Well, you could be a ginkgo. It's just as prehistoric as a platypus.
B.
I think I'm gonna pick a mangrove that is in the center of a protected area, because not only are mangroves beautiful, they provide food and shelter for all different kinds of animals, land and water animals, and you'll be right by the water, so you always have a good view. Yeah, I like mangroves.
It'd be
Quite
tropical, so you get a
interesting.
shower like every day.
Exactly. Exactly.
Harmonica Man says the lending tree.
The giving tree.
And Nerdy says, stop making me learn things.
See, I would have answered Joshua Tree, but then it just reminds me of a fucking U2 album, and I don't want to be associated with them.
A Joshua tree isn't actually a tree; it's a yucca plant. It just got
Yeah.
really big.
It's
Nerd.
Nerd.
Sorry.
nerd. Educational.
Sorry. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
stop that.
Stop wanting it
If I
making
get yelled at for talking about planets, you can yell down for talking about trees.
I got warned about it yesterday for talking about like history. So
I know.
We're not allowed being smart here, apparently. So, derp.
I'm
It's
not
just be
smart.
mindless entertainment.
The Earth-
Mindless
The Earth
entertainment.
is,
Oh,
the
now
Earth
you see,
is
look!
flat, y'all.
They're saying here, the stream has taught us many things. This is terrible.
Sorry. I'll be dumber.
And now they're sharing facts in the chat. This is. Well, too late. Dave has to mark this one
I
as
blame-
educational now. Right, we need to get back to some good solid.
How about we share Chuck Norris facts, and technically that's not educational.
I think you just wait till the next question. The next question was written by the Lone
You don't
Wanderer.
share Chuck Norris facts. Chuck Norris shares your facts.
Damn right. Hey, you know,
that. That's good.
do you know Chuck Norris once roundhouse kicked the Earth? It hasn't stopped spinning since.
Next question. Question 1076. Given the choice as a punishment for crime, would you rather perform oral sex on all of the current 50 dictators in the world 3 times a day for 10 years, or wipe their asses as and when required for the same amount of time?
Asses.
Oh,
Say again?
I'll
Asses.
suck them off any much
Asses.
rather.
You suck 'em off.
Yeah.
I'd
Well, the
commit
good-
suicide.
The good news
Fuck
is
that.
the good news about that question is technically Donald Trump isn't a dictator. So
It's a silver lining. It's a silver lining.
he doesn't qualify under this under the parameters of this. Of course, the bad side is Kim Jong Un is so
Very much a dictator.
this the downside of this.
Mike says if-
I'm not. Yeah, what the backsides? It's not.
What's the backside?
Neither of the options pleasant, but
Of course
that's
they're not. Nax says, oh no, don't want that one. If Castro was still alive, I'd be goblin like SOB.
yeah. See, he was the last cool one.
He was the last cool one, was he?
He was the last fucking cool.
Hanging with John Wild says, who's just arrived. What the fuck kind of question is this? You have to blame the Lone Wanderer. It's one of hers. Seraph says, wipe, but with something sharp. You're going to regret
Okay.
that.
I have a question.
Go on.
Point of clarification.
Yeah.
So, when you say wipe, are you
Yeah.
assuming a North American standard of bathroom usage?
Yes.
Okay. Because what I'm thinking is in a lot of Middle Eastern and African countries, they'll tend to have a hose next to the bathroom. And
Yes.
it's typically more for cleaning up
Yeah.
for prayer and that kind of thing, but it's also
Yeah.
basically the day. And that seems a lot easier to blowjob.
Yeah.
That's my thinking.
No, we're assuming American style cleanup.
American style cleaning. Okay.
So,
So,
the good thing
Who's on
about
the
that,
list of the dictators, by the way, Dave? Just because you know.
Say again? I have no
we need a
clue.
comprehensive list.
I thought, when I read the question, I thought 50 was a bit excessive.
Yeah, no, not really. Because I'd imagine a lot of countries in, say, like Africa or whatever, would probably make some, and obviously there's a lot in Asia. So
Well, the good thing about that is technically the North Korea dude, or is it South Korea? North Korea dude doesn't poop,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
so that one you don't have to worry about.
Nerdy says, ass wiping. No way I'm doing that properly. I'll also be wearing armor. Randolph said, Donald Trump is a wannabe dictator, so close enough.
yeah. Well,
Not close enough.
technically, on paper, Vladimir Putin is not a dictator, even if in reality he probably is. On paper, he
On
is
paper.
elected. Yeah.
What have we got here?
That's true. Both
Rainbow.
are dictators.
Uh,
Yeah, well, technically, Stalin was elected.
yes.
Okay, there was only one candidate on the fucking ballot, but hey ho.
And what happened to the people that didn't want him?
Well, there's actually generally they would. I know this is on danger of
It was
becoming
a rhetorical question.
but the
They
actual
send them off
work,
to Siberia
they
to
were-
move the wall.
what the Communist Party of the Soviet Union actually almost tended to do was allow there to be, anywhere from 150 to 200 independents sitting in the Supreme Soviet who were not members of the Communist Party. But most places, you had an election. It was a one election, and one card, and generally they got around 100% of the vote, except for Stalin, who managed to get 143% of the vote,
That's impressive.
they explained this away by saying that he was so beloved by the people that everyone from the neighbouring constituency came to vote for him.
Great, I like that. I mean,
he
it's
was not just liked, he was really, really liked, so they had to vote twice.
But let's get to the punchline. The real punchline is that the results of those elections were published in the London Times 24 hours before the fucking election took place. I'll shit you not on any of this.
Right. You see, how exactly have you turned a god-awful punishment into education about Soviet Russia?
very carefully.
Very carefully. Where have we got up to? Sammy says, wipe their asses, even I have limits, Dave.
The point I was making, Dave, is that technically, on paper, the number of dictators might be a little less than...
Dave.
Yeah.
I think we have to rethink this Chad thing. He's wearing cargo pants.
It looks good in him.
I love cargo pants.
You have not seen what these pants have been through.
If I was wearing pants right now, they would be cargo pants. I'm just saying.
Never Again says, bunk this question, whomever wrote it, lol. No, I did my time, no. Stool says, I wipe their asses with my spatula hands. Hanging with John Wilde says, non-suicide in the jail cell. Nerdy says, Dave keeps adding clarity by changing the question totally. I haven't changed the question totally. B says, agreed never, I pick Harry Carey. Did Jeff answer before he ran away? He's dead.
Jeff
says,
decided suicide, apparently.
How might a privatised prison capitalise on such punishments? I have no idea. Seraph says, well, all 50 of them 3 times a day, they'd all have to be grouped in one place to achieve that, so they'd never get any work done, which is probably good. For either option. Not a Great Gamer points out that North Korea's Kim is elected.
I haven't answered.
I haven't got to you yet. Never Again says, sorry, okay. I learned about boundaries this past year. Wahahaha. Harmonica Man, isn't Mr. Potato Head a dictator when he gets a hard-on? I am lost by that. Dictator.
Yeah.
It's a dictator.
I thought those were called eyes, not dicks.
What?
Those things on the potato, those are eyes. The eye of the potato, not the dick.
But he has a hard-on.
Once the thing grows out, then.
Oh, we're not going down this road. Just Jenny, answer the question.
No, wait, let me finish this.
We're not gonna discussion about dick potatoes.
The ad would read, go to jail, see the world, suck a dick. Right, Jenny.
Jesus Christ.
What would you do?
I would.
You're wrong either way. One.
Oh my God, we broke Jenny.
Have we broken Jenny before? Who knew all it would take is 150 blowjobs a day?
I tell you what, Dave. I'll answer while she composes herself. So my answer is this: I will choose the shit part, wiping their ass, and because I'm a dominant bitch, within a month I'll have them wiping my ass. So I'll choose that option.
I would pick the blowjob because it's a cheap protein diet.
What is she?
What? Diet.
Cheap protein diet. It's probably better than prison food. Jeff says this question puts the dick back in dictator. You want to spit it out? Nerdy says any answer but death is the wrong answer. No, you see, you can't have death. There's no means to kill yourself.
I mean,
hey, I've decided, Dave, that that Jenny and I are gonna team up. She's gonna take all the dick, and I'll go lick all the pussy, and we'll all be great. Problem solved.
No. That's a completely separate question. If I was given that choice, there would be no dicks involved. Sorry.
No,
question
no,
was
you
about
already
dicks.
said you would suck on the dicks. You already said it. You
Right.
already chose that.
Shall we go to the next
That's
question?
because that was in the question.
We go to the next question.
I thought we should accept our answer.
Wait there, Sarah. What was your answer?
No.
You can't say no. You end up doing both if you don't pick one.
I'll go with the
Ew.
dicks because I have poo makes me squeamish. So I will be sucking the dicks and eating the pussy.
When did pussy come into it? How is this get added?
I'm assuming at least one or two of them is a female.
Dictators? Nah, not so much.
Rarely. Right, next question.
Hence why my job would be easy. Go, Dave.
Question 1077. If you could change what falls from the sky every time it rains, what would it be and why? Note, it can't be anything of significant value.
Well,
Pennies
Why
from
change
heaven.
it? Just make it cleaner and less toxins in it. Rain is amazing and beautiful.
Just make it pure water.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so it's like, does it change forever, or do you get to choose it like every once in a while? Like if it's flooding and you're like, well, fuck it, I don't want it to rain any more water.
They're
does it-
finding. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or is it like just a blanket thing? Like you have to choose it. That's what rain is forever and ever. So the world is fucked.
Yeah. No, it's normal rain, but normal periods. But
Periods are not rain.
So as much as it would rain anyways, it would be changed to whatever you choose,
yes.
is what you're saying. Okay.
Stool says Vinto. Harmonica Man says hookers. I think A, the hookers would object, and B, I think they've got more value.
just doing a thing.
Looking for the hookers.
Yeah. You know, and they've been, I guess, doing studies is how they find these things, and they're finding that there's actual nanoplastics in raindrops now.
Yes. Randolph says water is of tremendous value. Yes, if we actually implemented this, it would be an ecological disaster. Jeff says beer, which is pretty much worthless, so I'm happy with that. Starkey says sponges full of water would fall from the sky. If they were sponges, would be quite funny, actually. Hanging with John Wild says hot girls that cannot say no. So, slave girls.
Ouch. Carry an umbrella.
We're
We're not going down that road.
Nerdy says mermaid sauce. Randolph says purple rain. Sammy says hot naked people floating down with parachutes looking for some bow chicka wow wow.
You know, I object to the assumption that just because you can't say no, you're a slave.
There aren't many options. There aren't many alternatives. There are some, but not many. Harmonica Man, if it was raining whores, I would get hit in the head with a donkey shoe with my luck. Okay. Seraph, oh yeah, no education, Jenny. Behave. You're under warning. Stop being educational.
Oh, I gotta read this question again, then.
Stool says baked potatoes. Nerdy says cheese. Spooky says cheese spiders. Antjer says macaroni and cheese. Where are we going?
Well, the correct answer to this is Brando, because it's what plants crave.
If it has to be something,
my answer. I like that.
if it has to be something of absolutely no value, I want to have it either pennies or Republicans.
No, they might hurt someone totally innocent when they hit them. I'm not okay with the Republicans or the pennies.
Yeah, but it really wouldn't take much more than a couple rainstorms to get rid of all of them.
Well, in principle, that last bit of the question isn't really necessary because anything that falls out of the sky isn't going to be valuable for very long. So
That's very true.
You got a particular use for gold, go for it.
Yeah,
again,
but Jenny, the rain gets recycled and put back in the atmosphere. It'd be raining Republicans over and over again. The motherfuckers would keep coming back. That would not solve the problem.
Oh, no,
Zombie Republicans.
You cook them up and then eat them, and then they just become fertilizer.
So, since it can't be something of value, and diamonds are technically they have no value. Can I just say diamonds?
Sure.
Little tiny ones, not like big ones to hurt people, but little tiny diamonds just to fuck with people.
I have a little bag of diamonds.
I had one until my stepbrother stole it. My mom got it for selling Avon.
You have Avon out there? I didn't know that. I actually didn't know they had Avon in the States.
Avon's everywhere.
Oh yeah. I honestly did. I don't know why I thought that.
I mean, did you not hear about the Christian ministries that were visiting one of the tribes in the rainforest in Brazil?
No.
Well, they got there and they knocked on one of the thingy doors, and the door opened, and it was an Avon lady lived there trying to sell them makeup.
Oh, fantastic! That reminds me.
Ding dong, Avon calling.
That reminds me. What was it? I don't know if you remember that show in the '90s. They dropped the dead donkey, and the reporter Damien went to some tribe in I think it was like New Guinea or Borneo or something, which he believed was like some tribe that had never seen a Westerner before. And they did the gift exchanging and whatever, so he gave him like a mirror, and the chieftain of this tribe gave him a toaster pack and whatever, and it's like, and they asked him, well, what about like the shrunken heads and stuff? And the chieftain goes, we swapped for a new Carter Unstoppable Sex Machine album. Which I love that, and I love that joke because if I could put a shameless plug in here. Les from Carter and the Unstoppable Sex Machine actually appeared on my channel, so...
You should put a link in the channel, in the chat.
I will do if anyone wants to watch. Yeah, I'll do that.
Nerdy says, pizza with pineapple baked into the crust. Seraph says, clean water is pretty much the only proper answer I can think of. Spooky cheese spiders. Oh, spiders, make it rain spiders. No, do not make it rain spiders, that would be evil. Where my life had been, I like see
Never Again's answer.
Of yellow shit sort. Where was Never Again? I've got to wait down that far. Realistically,
pure
water.
Yeah, keep going, you'll see it.
Not this pure water. Sammy says, marijuana, which although we have assigned value to it, in essential is a weed, so worthless. Hope diamonds everywhere, says Starkey. Starkey says, yes, let it rain weed. Never again. Weed, marijuana seeds, then rain. That I could get behind.
Yeah, it would be everywhere.
Oh, here we go. Spooky. Love should rain down. Love, let it rain. Love, let it rain. Spooky wins the chat.
I was going to say men just for the it's raining men thing, but I do think that men have value, so that would be mean.
No, men don't have value. It's the sperm that's the valuable thing.
Well, see, we can replace it with demon sperm now, so it's good.
Cool.
You get that in your sleep.
There's an equal alternative.
We only have value just because you guys outnumber us at the moment. That's pretty much it.
Right.
But see, then I can go out in the streets and start singing "It's Raining Men."
I subscribe to the thing that was said in the film Trainspotting that in 100 years' time that there will be no men and no women, just wankers. It sounds brilliant.
Hanging with John Wilde says, they just want my sperm. Just sperm. Yes, apparently so. They'll be around to collect it later. Anyone else got anything good?
I'm sticking with my original clean rain. But I do like the marijuana seeds thrown in with. That would be great.
I'm up for another question.
Good. Question, the penultimate question. Question 1078. How long can you go without checking your phone?
Sorry.
How long?
Hold on, let me check my phone. I'll let you know.
How long could you?
10 hours.
Can
the
you?
whole work shift.
how long? It depends on how long I'm asleep for. That's the question. No, I'm terrible for checking the phone.
No, I'm really bad. I've got my laptop going right now, but usually I've just got 2 cell phones on the go. So I've got that going on one, YouTube on the other. Yeah.
To be fair, I usually have to live chat from these streams going on my phone, so I'm really bad throughout these.
What's the next question?
The one you asked for?
Yeah.
I'm really good about not checking it when I'm at work because I'm too damn busy.
Yeah.
And the other day when I worked like 14 or 18 hours, one of those 2 days, I probably only checked it 3 times during that entire time.
What is this? This thing?
That was because I thought someone was getting a hold of me from work from the front of the store. So.
What is this thing everybody refers to work? What's that about?
I don't know.
It's torture. Don't do it. I don't recommend it.
Bad for your health.
Okay.
Yes, bad for your health, bad for your physical and mental health. Don't do it.
Unfortunately, it's required for food.
Yeah, it's actually a required human need, but unfortunately, you know, I'm not going to get into the Marxist theory of alienation. So,
right, Jen says,
I'm not going to do that.
Seraph says forever. Stool says 2.5 meters. Nerdy says weeks. I often just turn my phone off. Never again says I don't check it. I want a hammock now. Hanging with John Wild says 10 seconds for real. Sammy says my phone is officially an appendage. I'll let you guess where it joins my body.
Well then.
Says depends how long I sleep or lose my phone for. Monica Man says honestly.
Anybody feel seasick from this?
No. If someone does, I'll shout. I'm amazed at your ability to just set yourself up wherever.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a hammock? Oh, how cool! I like it.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not a T. Don't take the rocking too seriously.
How much can you rock?
When I get my nephew in here, I usually get it going good 6 feet either way.
Well, go on.
Well,
do it now.
He's only 2 years old, so he's fun to push.
Yeah, but how far can you do it?
I don't know.
Keep going.
Whoop. Whoop.
Well, that's pretty good.
Whoop. Whoa, that's about it.
Oh, I bet you can go further.
that looked like maybe 20, 30 degrees. That's not bad.
This is not a background image. This is real life.
You just made the show interactive.
all who thinks that he can get higher.
Dude, you do realise I drink on these streams. You're not helping me.
I
That's what you get for looking away for a minute, Jeff.
All right. Hold on. There you go. Better?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, most people are not. They can't go without it at all. Right. The last question. Question 1079. Would you rather commit a terrible crime and get away with it, but live in fear of being caught, or get jailed for 2 years for a crime you did not commit?
Oh.
I would go
No,
with the
that's a
2
shit
years because
question.
It's a horrible question.
I'm already depressed enough and shit. I don't need to add to that, so I'll just go with the 2 years.
2 years.
If hold on. Are we working on the basis though that can we or can we not posthumous, after the offence or whatever, have the ability to clear our name? Like the one that's the same. Let's say we're sent to jail for something we didn't do. We served the full sentence. We come out. Yeah. Do we have that ability after that time to clear our name?
No.
So that's it. Yeah. Because in a lot of ways you kind of screwed more that way, because that will be held against you.
Because you're going to live with that.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing, Jeff.
But you have peace of mind. The other one, it's in your head.
But then you've got the whole thing of you try to get a job afterwards. You got a criminal record. You've got all that things to sort of consider.
Yes.
Well, I was thinking that whenever you get out, the reason you're getting out is because you're exonerated, and like if they figure out you didn't do it, so fuck it. I'll just go with the commit a crime and be paranoid as shit for the rest of my life.
Seraph
I would
says,
also pick the doing the crime thing. The statute of limitations on most stuff is only like 7 years. Not for murder. There is no statute of limitations on some crimes. But the most important thing would be that I just could never ever go back to prison.
We don't, because we don't. That's something. So in the UK, there is no statute of limitations on any crime.
I always found that as a really weird concept. Statute of limitations.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's a totally.
It's society's way of saying if you're good enough, hey, cool.
Well, look, technically, there could be like some really dumb offence we committed like 30 years ago, and technically speaking, we could still be charged.
What was that again,
charged
Jeff?
on that.
What was that again?
I said technically speaking, or whatever.
What sort of crime?
I don't. It's one I'm not going to say because I can technically be done for it. So, I mean, I did
That's
when
the
I was
problem about the statute of limitations.
just turned 18, which I'm not going to talk about.
Seraph says jailed. Starkey says jailed for 2 years. Stool says I'm not going to jail. I have a pretty bottom. Never Again says sits back and watches the answers. Already made that choice. Yes, with a very smug smile. Harmonica Man already served my time. Never Again says I was a horrible criminal. Once was enough. Hanging with John Wild. I've got to get to know Never Again better.
I would have to go with 2 years just because knowing I had committed a crime, I'd have to live with myself. And that's a sentence that lasts longer than 2 years.
Yes.
And in any event, your paranoia is going to be just as bad as anybody else's perception of you when you get out after 2 years. So it's a question of how you sleep at night.
I mean, after 2 years, you can sleep at night.
Exactly.
I'd imagine, and this just me, if it's something you were only sentenced for 2 years for, it's probably not that major an offence that it's going to fuck up your entire life. But a lot of the time, it would depend on what you were sentenced for.
Yeah.
Well, we're assuming
no, if you're in prison, Broomstick Bubba has no idea and couldn't care less.
No, but
Jenny,
when you come out, he means.
You don't know where I'm going with this. If there's a stigma attached to something, if it, like, people, for example, are going to be willing to forgive, like, a theft or whatever, even if you didn't do it, you went to prison, couple of years, you stole, people will be willing to forgive that. Now, let's say, and I'm going to throw a fucking grenade into this one right now. I'm pre-warning everyone. Let's say you went to prison for 2 years for a sex offence that you didn't do.
You'd be screwed.
You would be fucking screwed because the stigma of that is going to follow you forever. And
we're not talking about that, though. We're not going down that route. Yeah, we're talking about we're talking about a blue collar crime. We're talking about something minor that got you 2 years.
Dave, you didn't specify.
No, it's the implication that it's not going to be something that it's not going to be murder. It's not going to be because then you have other consequences to live with. All you have to live with is the jail time.
You did not specify that, Dave. You did not specify that.
I am specifying that.
You're specifying it now, okay.
Say again, Chad?
However, in Alabama, apparently... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chad.
I was just wondering, the chainsaw started up next door. I can't pay attention anymore. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go, Jenny.
Apparently, in Alabama, though, you can commit rape and be elected senator. So, or almost.
Well, I guess,
yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I guess it depends on what your question is. Is the original crime something that would only carry a 2-year sentence to begin with?
No. I mean, I haven't given the specifics of that. It says a terrible crime.
Okay, it has to be a terrible crime.
You know, I'll go with probably killing someone.
Like a murder, yeah. You're going to go with like extreme example, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years.
You know, my idea for the other one would probably be a minor theft. You know, or something blue collar. So you went to jail. You happened to be walking past a jewelry store that got robbed.
So your question basically boils down to: would you rather stab somebody and not get caught, or knock over a liquor store?
Well, or basically, be accused of knocking over a liquor store.
Or been accused of knocking over a liquor store and doing
jail for it.
You sent to prison for a blooming blue collar crime for 2 years. You get back out, you're probably going to get a flipping
job offer,
mate, CEO of a fucking company somewhere. But I think it's one of those things. So the implication of the question, though, and let's leave what particular offence it may or may not be. But the implication of that is that you go to prison for 2 years you haven't done, but it's still a stigma to it. You have to carry around for the rest of your life, and you cannot exonerate yourself from that crime, even though you were innocent. Yes. Which is why I went down the path I went down. And let's not go down there, but that's why I use that. It's
stigma. It's only the stigma of being in jail, rather than for the particular crime.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think in this country it's not so bad for that sort of crime at this point, as long as it was non-violent. Quick with the thing. Hanging with John Wild. I live in fear of everything, so why should this be any different? Also, the crime must never really hurt anyone innocent. It did. The big one.
If I go to prison, do I get to come out with that cool tattoo on my arm with the barbed wire?
Sure.
That's up to you.
That's up to you. Sarah says if it's 2 years, it can't be too much of a crime.
That's right.
Yeah, well, again, sir, I could go down the route of what I went down before, because you should see perhaps some of the sentences that are given out for the UK in that.
Yes. One recently, really bad. Sammy, get away with the major crime. I'll just get stoned and forget to be paranoid. Nerdy, I'd rather be jailed, thanks. Nerdy, I could simply commit a crime with a jail term of less than 2 years anyway and live in fear of that. Yes, but that's not the question. Sammy, with enough weed, you'll sleep at night. I like Nerdy's loophole. Never again. Shaking my head at the lack of knowledge of those who think minor criminals get low years and that 2 years is such a short time. Doing it one day at a time with killers. Yeah, I don't want to. I know what you mean. In a more.
I've done a lot of isolation, not prison, but I've done a lot of isolation, so I know what I'm getting into. I can do 2 years of isolation.
Ilya, I completely agree with you. Absolutely. I'm there.
What the hell? I'll get to you in a second. Starkey says I commit the crime and blame it all on Dave. What level of prison is this? This is Martha Stewart's jail. It was Dave's fault. I don't know Math Pig well enough to blame him. It's alright, it's B month. Blame B. Hanzo, which country?
Yeah, it's my month.
B.
Yeah, one more day. We have one more day after today to blame B, so we're gonna blame.
Oh shit, we do.
Ooh.
I'm almost done.
That worries me because I know who they talked about for next month.
It's been a long month, guys.
Ilya, can I choose neither? Which country matters a lot if it's not an abusive, inhumane one? I will go with Norway, just to be evil. Ilya
Norway, I'd quite happily go to prison there.
Ilya says, can I choose neither, or can jail please have Goldicott there? Since this is Fantasyland. Yeah. In my fantasy, Goldicott is there, and I go to prison.
I mean, I agree with her.
She's gorgeous, but my response to Ilya is, seeing as she's in the IDF, there's a good chance that she actually did fucking commit some crimes. So, but we won't get into that.
What's the IDF?
Israeli Defense Force.
Oh.
To be fair, they have national service there, so she probably didn't have much of a choice in it. But
no,
she is a big Zionist, so I have an issue with her.
I had a friend who went. She served during the '67 war. Saw some pretty atrocious things.
Right. Aunt Jer says, I could go to jail in a Scandinavian country. That's not too bad, I hear. Never Again says, prison is not isolation ever. You cannot be alone in prison.
Well, you can be. You just got to make enough of this thing.
Good luck hanging with John Wild. John Wild. Never Again says, Aunt Jer, the noise never ends, even in isolation, especially in isolation. That's where they go nuts. Sounds wonderful. Right.
There.
Quick answers, if anyone's changed their mind.
I'm gonna
Jenni.
go with the jail because even the shitty jail here is a lot better than being broke as fuck, like I am.
Yeah, Canadian jail.
Well,
they are. But
I'm gonna stick with my original answer of no prison, unless it's the Ilya condition that
all of you go to jail and end up in the same jail. B.
It wouldn't have to be Gal Gadot either. It could be Ilya.
The atheist gang going to be great.
See, I've been thinking this whole. It's really tough for me because I have a tiny home and I could live off grid easily.
Yeah.
I'd literally just have to plant some vegetables. Like I already have solar power and all that. So
have you planned going on the
that
run,
wouldn't
B?
be too hard for me. I can't see killing someone. I'm just not that person. I mean, that guy punched me the other day and I didn't even hit him back because I'm just not. I just. Well, I probably would have killed his ass if I would have hit him back. But anyways, I might have to pick jail on that though, because it would have to be such a serious, violent crime to avoid jail. And I think if I went to jail, I'd just make friends because I get along with everybody. So yeah, it's a tough question for me. I think I could do either one, but for for my own conscience, I would have to pick the 2 years in jail.
Yeah. Prison is not jail. And the question was about prison, not jail.
Yeah.
Okay. To my mind, they're interchangeable.
Where you hang out for a while until your lawyer comes and pays some money for it.
They're interchangeable in my head.
Prison is where
permanent, basically.
Is where Broomstick Bubba has his way with you.
Yeah.
Ilya says,
yeah,
Jenni
but
would
see, I'd
choose
be in
jail.
an all-female jail or prison. Bubba wouldn't have his way with me, and I'd probably get more pussy than anybody.
That's a generic name. It doesn't matter which prison you're in. There's going to be somebody who's sexually abusive.
Yep.
It's called obligatory homosexuality, and it occurs all the time.
And I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way in fucking hell somebody get away with that with me. But anyways, moving on.
Jeff,
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. I know I'd end up locked up for more than 2 years because I'd stabbed the first motherfucker that tried that with me. So,
right.
Yeah,
right.
I will. And so, no, this is a difficult one for me to answer, but because generally, I think a lot of us think we're widely. Well, I don't know how everyone feels on this, but I generally feel that it is better a guilty person goes free than an innocent person goes to jail. That is how I genuinely feel. But now I've obviously got to put myself in that particular situation. This is a difficult one for me to answer because you are going to be riddled with guilt for the rest of your life. And paranoid, that's going to seriously fuck up your mental health. That being said, the kind of stigma that would be attached to being convicted of something you didn't do and not having the chance to exonerate yourself is always going to be on your fucking record, and you're always going to be looked at a certain way.
Yep.
But you're assuming that a lot of people that anybody's going to take the time to see your record.
Like I said, most people aren't going to know.
Oh, god damn, they're going to. In reality.
No, in reality, most people won't know.
Well, in principle, I don't know if any of you guys have criminal records.
Yeah, but when it comes to trying to get employment or something, that's going to be on your record for fucking ever.
Yeah, but most things aren't. Most things don't ask you anything relevant to whether or not you've been in jail. There's not. I mean, you get driving offence questions. But you don't really get. Is there anything relevant that's going to stop you doing this job? It's not. I think in the US, I've seen a lot worse. Than the UK.
There is for me because I'm a teacher, right? So I have to pass. Whenever I join a new board, I have to pass a criminal record check and a child abuse register check as well.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm not likely to. I wouldn't likely have the job I have now if I'd been in prison for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. But
what grade do you teach?
Me?
Yeah.
I've done some first year uni, but primarily grade 11 and 12.
Aww.
So, mostly physics, math, chemistry, the nerd stuff, astronomy.
Where do you live?
Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Ah,
Really?
Ilya super chatted. Wait. Ilya super chatted. She says, "Jailed with Jenny, hearts. We'd laugh non-stop at the stupid."
okay.
$5.
That's
Can I
great.
just answer?
No, I'm hitting on Chad. Hold on.
Yeah.
Can I
This
come out
must
there?
be a big part of it.
I was about to hit on you, Jenny, but never mind.
I've always wanted to see Halifax.
How what?
I've always wanted to go to Halifax.
Oh, it's a beautiful
Halifax.
spot. Well, actually, you were talking about oak trees before and wanting to see one of those.
Mm-hmm.
This oak tree, I'm at my parents' house. That's where I'm living right now. The oak tree this hammock is hanging from was no bigger than my thumb when we brought it home.
Aw.
And now it's got my hammock in it. So.
It's incredible how slow they grow, isn't it?
Tree.
And did you ever notice in the winter the oak tree holds onto its leaves all winter, and no other tree?
It almost does, yeah. It's incredibly sparse, but it's just, I don't know. We still call it the oak stick because it's just a stick with like one leaf for like 5 years. We brought it home in a shopping cart. So.
Do you have an oak wilt problem up there?
Oh, what, sorry?
Oak wilt problem?
No, I don't think I've heard that one before around here. We had a problem with fruit bugs for a while back, but that was an invasive species thing. So.
Do you like having sex?
Why what?
Right.
I'll sod it, Dave. I'll answer just so you end the fucking stream. Then
Yes.
I'll quote Julius Caesar. It's better to die once than die 1,000 times inside. So
1,000 deaths.
fuck it. Yeah. So better. So I'll get fucking locked up for 2 years. So, but that was a tough call for me. That really was.
That's okay. It's allowed. Right. On that note, I'm going to say thank you to Jenny.
Thank you for having me.
To Chad.
I appreciate the invite, sir. It's been a pleasure.
B. To Jeff. And to Sarah.
Bye.
And a very, very special thanks to Ilya, who says, "Wait, can I go to jail with Seraphim, B, and Jenny?"
Yes, I'm up for it. I want to go.
That would be fine. That would be fine. That would be
Thank
great,
you.
but not till after I get back from Nova
Only
Scotia.
if Dave, Chad, and I get to be the prison guards.
Whoa, how'd I get into this?
Well, I didn't want to leave you out.
Steph felt left out.
This was polite. Oh, right. On that note, does anyone have anything to shelf? No. Does Ilya have anything to shelf?
Yeah. If you like my style of incredible stupidity, Friday night movie night, and I'm going to make it this week. Not like I missed last week, but you know sometimes depression wins.
It does. It's not good.
It does.
Right. You should go.
I
And
might
subscribe
do a random open this evening, depending on the timing of whatever else is doing.
I think
Oh!
Math Pig's
I was going to say, Math Pig's Open Hangout is tonight. Which
Oh, what
I
time
was
is it? I
organised.
thought it was tomorrow night.
What day is it?
It's 10. It's Thursday today.
Thursday.
So it's like what's it? So it'll be 10 p.m. our time. So what's that? Is that 5 p.m. Eastern?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I'm up for that.
I feel like I got to get swinging at the end of the stream here.
My boss is forcing me to take a day off, so
Forcing you to take a day off. Right. On
Yeah,
that
I was
note,
gonna go in and get some shit done, but
Chad,
I might-
are you a ginger or just the beard?
With that, just the beard actually. It's mostly
like math big.
like a blondish red kind of thing, but that's all blonde.
Okay.
Jenny,
A whole
shush.
lot of it.
okay,
2 minutes.
Dave.
2
Dave,
minutes. You can have
rope
him to
Jenny
yourself.
in. Let's get out of here.
By the way, I did. Let me do. I'll try and put the link in again, but I'm just gonna chill out for Ilya a second.
I did ask.
Well, I think they were planning a party when they got to 500 subs. They have just obliterated that. You want to sit down with debunkers to the magic 666 subs. So if you're not subscribed,
Ooh.
The link in.
Nice.
The link in.
yeah, I'm doing it right now.
You're too slow. Go faster.
I'm just trying to distract everybody with motion.
So I'm just gonna help Ilya out a bit there if I can get her a little bit closer.
Go subscribe to that.
Yes, if you're not subscribed, it's a great channel. If you are not subscribed to that, actually, it's a good channel. I haven't really got anything. I may possibly. I've got an idea for a video project in the next day or two, possibly. Just because of some stupid shit going on with the Danish cult leader Torben Sondergaard, but
Yeah.
I might. Depends if I can get Hopswatch on board, to be honest. So
My guess is he will be. He seems to be out there doing the legwork.
well,
on that.
he's the guy. He's covered him for a long time. So if I do a project on this, it might be he might be the guy I want to talk to.
I may or may not be cameoing in someone's video tonight. Godless Grannies.
Pop. Oh,
Other than that, I will be on Math Pigs thing this evening. Right, we will be at 2:30 tomorrow, which is an hour and a half after this normally starts, so an hour and a half late tomorrow. We will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye bye.